MotorWeek is made possible by Rock Auto and Tire Rack.
Hey, Zach, what are you up to?
Oh, I'm just researching some segment ideas for the 35th anniversary season.
Boy, you've come to the right place. You know, these tape archives have thousands of great feature stories from Craig Singhaus, Lisa Barrow, Henry Kopass, Stephen Chupnik, even a few of mine. So if you look hard enough, I think you'll come up with some great inspiration. Good luck.
Good luck. Oh, he's a funny guy, I tell you what. Where do I even begin?
Here, try this one. It's my story of driving the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
Craig Singhaus, what's going on? What are you doing here?
Think of me as the ghost of MotorWeek past.
The last time I saw you, you had a trucker hat and a Camaro t-shirt on.
Oh, I still have that hat. But seriously, whenever I wanted to look for a good story, what I would do is I'd look for a bunch of guys and gals having a great time with some cars, and then there was sure to be a great story behind it.
So everybody's well familiar with your Wienermobile story. Tell me about that.
Well, actually, I drove 3 generations of Wienermobiles. I drove a 1968, a 1988, and a 1996. You might say I relished the opportunity.
So I know you like to be more involved in your stories rather than just reporting on them. What were some of the more memorable ones?
Well, the idea was that I did the things that a lot of our viewers would have liked to participate in. For example, I got to ride in a P-51 Mustang fighter plane. One time I kind of rode in the Goodyear blimp. It was actually a really windy day, so when we were only about 25 feet off the ground. But hey, I was riding in the blimp.
Right. Are there any stories that really hit home for you that you got personally attached to?
Well, I'll tell you. Back in the late 1990s, I actually went back to Normandy, France, and retraced the steps that the Allies took during the Normandy invasion in 1944. It was a real life changer for me, rekindled my interest in history.
You must have met some pretty incredible people along the way.
You know, I tell you, some of them were famous and some of them weren't. Some of them were just people who loved cars. But probably the one guy that really sticks in my mind, well, since I was a little kid, I always idolized Carroll Shelby. And it was the biggest thrill of my life to be able to hang out with him several times. He used to say, "Hey, call me Carroll." And I used to say, "Yes, Mr. Shelby."
It seems like a recurring theme that you always had fun first in your segments.
Well, nobody got rich, so the idea was to have as much fun as you could possibly have. And what's not to have fun? Great cars, great people. It was a terrific time. Remember, have fun, till John Davis takes the T-Bird away.
Hey, wait a minute. He didn't have all the fun.
Lisa Barrow, I was just talking to Craig and I don't know where he went. How are you?
I'm great. It's good to be back here.
Okay, so how about you? Where did you get your story ideas?
You know, if it involved adventure and seeing the world, I was there. And usually that involved off-road events and things. So I had a pretty good time going to like Australia, where I got to learn to drive in the sand for the first time. Mongolia and Morocco. Morocco was probably the first off-road event I did where I really thought, whoa, I am not in Kansas anymore.
Oh, it always makes for some good video, absolutely.
It was crazy. It was fun, though. Learned a lot.
So how about the people? Who did you come across on these trips? Anybody very memorable?
You know, I would have to say there's a lot, but Denise McCluggage was amazing to spend time with her. And actually, one of my first stories going overseas was with Denise. It was the Berta Benz rally, and I got to share a car with her. And it was a 1912 Mercedes-Benz wagon, if I remember correctly. And that thing was so hard to shift. I mean, it's got the shift outside the door. And I mean, I had to use like 2 hands to do it. It was incredible. But Denise, she got into it, she just did it. And I really saw her competitive side. It was very impressive.
How about when it comes to being actually a part of these stories? You know, we do some reporting, but we really feel a part of them sometimes. Any memorable ones there?
Oh, yeah. I remember the tank story. I don't know, it was one of those things where we went up to Aberdeen Proving Ground.
The Abrams tank.
Yeah, the Abrams M1A2 main battle tank.
Okay.
And I'm like crawling inside of this thing and I'm thinking, what am I doing in here?
Just like riding a bike, right?
Exactly.
Nothing more to it.
Exactly. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.